Are you single and feeling out of the loop? Put away that mouse and get out of the house. Join In the Loop, Seattle's brand new activities club just for singles. Go to intheloopsingles.com today.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
If you want to leave a lasting impression on a first date, you should always make the other person fear for their life.
No.
Yeah, it's good. They'll remember it for a long time. And who knows? You know, you take them out, you scare them to death, and then they'll be like, you know, we're not going to be on this planet forever. We could die at any moment. Maybe they're willing to take a risk that night. And that's what Eric did on his date that he wants to talk about today. Eric apparently put the fear of God into her right away and is now wondering why he's not getting a call back. Eric, how are you?
I'm all right.
Oh my God, what did you do?
Yeah, you guys make it seem like I pushed her out of a plane or something. It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah. Well, but your
Sounds
email
like-
did say that you scared her.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Like on
Why don't you tell everybody what you did?
Well, basically, I'm single, you know, and my buddy's a mutual friend with this girl who's like, oh, you should go out with my friend Nicole. She's single. Who knows? It might work out. So, you know, I'm down, and I check out her Facebook page, and she's cute, you know, and some of her photos look like she's having fun, like, you know, she goes fishing, and she just seemed like she's active, and I'm pretty active, and I'm like, all right, so this girl looks like a good time. She's hot. So I'm like, why not, you know, and I ask her out, and she says, cool. And so then I went to go pick her up, and, you know, I have a car too, but I have a motorcycle, and so I thought, how awesome would it be to roll up on the bike?
Oh, no.
No.
Big mistake,
Nope.
Eric.
I would not get on it to save my life.
Yeah,
There's no way.
As a guy who rides motorcycles, I've tried that a few times on dates. I mean, I've asked before. I've asked beforehand. I'll be like, "Hey, I ride a motorcycle. It's sunny. Do you want to go for a ride?" And they always go, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
Girls are not necessarily as big of fans of motorcycles as most dudes are. So you didn't tell her that you wanted to pick her up on a motorcycle. You just showed up on a bike.
Yeah, man. I mean, I showed up, I had a helmet, and I was like, look, this is going to be fun. I'm a great rider. Never had any, you know, moving violations or accidents or
Oh
anything.
my God,
And
now
then
you
She doesn't
cursed
know
yourself. Yeah, she has no idea who you are. Do you just expect her to get on the back?
Yeah. I thought she'd be excited about it. I thought it was kind of a good idea. You know, I mean, I've actually gone on dates with girls in the past where I've done this, and they love the bike.
Okay.
Okay.
But she did not.
No.
What was her reaction when you pulled up on a motorcycle?
I rolled up, and she was kind of like, you're kidding me.
So she didn't want to go on the motorcycle, so what'd you do?
I actually convinced her to come on.
You did?
Did-
Oh,
How
you should
long-
have just been like, hey, screw it, we'll go get a cab.
yeah, or I'll park here. Let's Uber it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had to convince her pretty hard. I was sort of like, it's going to be fun. You know, trust me. There's a freedom to it. You know, you'll totally have the best time. You'll probably not want to get off. I guarantee you this will be one of the greatest things you've ever experienced.
Oh, man.
That is a big sell, sir.
Yeah.
So she finally got on?
Yeah, so she got on.
Okay.
Was she like white knuckling you the whole time, just grabbing onto you for dear life?
Well, at one point, you know, we started to get into the speed limit, and she started, like, kind of screaming. I sort of heard, like, a, ah! And I thought she was having a good time, like, you know. I thought it was like an excited yell,
Yeah.
and so I kind of sped up, and then I sort of felt like a really deep, like, knuckle in my stomach kind of grab through my jacket. And I was like, I think I need to pull over and see what's going on here just to be safe. And so we pull over, you know, we're probably 6 blocks down the street. We weren't even that far. And she had been screaming, and she's like, I don't ever want to do that again.
Oh, no.
It's terrible.
She was really scared. And at that point, I was like, oh, man, you know, what do I do here? And she was just like kind of freaked out. So I was like, look, let's call an Uber, like you guys suggested earlier, which I probably should have done in the first place. And she was kind of like, okay, fine. So we waited around. She got in the car, and then I met her at the restaurant.
And now how did the date go after?
Well, it was definitely awkward at first. I mean, she was really kind of shaken up. And I felt bad.
She's like, I need a drink now.
Yeah, shots.
Just somebody pour alcohol down my throat.
Yeah. So it was a little awkward, and she was sort of like fidgety and maybe scared. And at that point, I was kind of like, oh, my God, is this slipping away from me? But we kind of loosened up after a drink. And at the end of it, I was like, look, let's do this again. No motorcycle. You know, I'll pick you up in my car. We'll drive safely. And she said, okay, you know, I'd like to maybe do that. And then she told me she'd be in touch with me.
I can't believe she even showed up for the dinner. Like, she must have liked you at some point. I would have just stood you up right there and went home.
Just tell the Uber, hey,
Yeah,
get
well,
me
that's
back home.
fine.
Don't
I'm done with this.
Yeah, well, when she did show up, I was kind of like, oh my God, I still have
A chance.
A
Did you
chance.
did you spend the most of the time apologizing profusely at dinner?
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
As you should.
Yeah, you should have. So you said that the plan was for her to contact you, and she hasn't,
Right.
obviously.
But she said, I'll be in touch. And so, a couple days go by and I hadn't heard from her. So I gave her a text. Just wanted to make sure she was okay. And I'm texting her and I'm like, look, I'm so sorry. No more bikes. I'll bring my car this time. No helmets will be involved in any future date.
It'd be awesome if you showed up on the next date in a NASCAR. Let's do this.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, did the bike really freak her out that much? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that crazy. But
Yeah, but
apparently she's not texting me back and I haven't heard from her. So
Maybe you haven't heard from her because after your bike ride, she just suddenly got a love for motorcycle riding and has been riding across the country, just exploring this fine nation on her motorcycle.
I highly doubt that.
All right. Well, we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, okay?
All right, thanks.
All right, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
We're right in the middle of a second date update, and in case you missed the first part, Eric is on the phone with us right now. He wants us to call a girl named Nicole. He picked her up for their first date on his motorcycle. Only problem was he didn't tell her that he was coming over on his motorcycle. She didn't even want to get on the thing. He convinced her to get on, and a little while into the ride, she made him pull over because she was scared to death. She got an Uber to the restaurant while he took his motorcycle and met her there. Started things off very awkward, and now she's not giving him a call back. Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, poor girl.
All right, Eric, you ready to make your phone call?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
All right.
you got to put her in a death trap again if you go out on a second date, Eric?
Yeah, no more of that.
Okay.
Let's go skydiving on our
Yeah,
second date.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
let's just stick to a movie or something.
All right, I'm going to dial the phone number right now, see if we can get her on the phone and get your second date update. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, is Nicole there?
This is she.
Hey, Nicole, how are you? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How you doing?
What is this? What's going on?
We do a segment on our show called the Second Date Update. It's where if you go on a date with somebody and then end up not calling them after, we call you to find out why. And we recently got an email from somebody who went on a date with you.
Really?
Yeah, his name is Eric. And I guarantee you remember going out with Eric because he almost killed you.
Yes. It's hard to forget a day like that. Yes.
So Eric told us a little bit about your date and the fact that he's been trying to get a hold of you and you haven't been calling him back. So he asked us to see if we could get you on the phone and find out why. I'm assuming it was the motorcycle ride that you didn't want to go on that's causing you to not call him back.
I mean, it wasn't a great start. You start off with the basic, why wouldn't you tell me you were going to pick me up on a motorcycle question?
Right.
Yeah, you probably want to check on that before just showing up to your house like, hey, get on the back of my hog. We're going for a ride.
Yeah.
You had to have liked him a little bit because I can't even believe that you showed up to the restaurant after that whole incident.
Honestly, I thought about at that point just saying, you know what, this isn't going to work. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he said he'd call me an Uber, and I was like, well, I'm already out here, and he's trying to make it better, and so I thought maybe I should give him another chance.
Okay.
nice of
That's
you.
that is very nice of you.
Pity date.
So did you enjoy dinner with him then?
Well, I mean, we got there, and I was still really kind of shaken up. But it did start to get better when we got drinks, and I sort of sunk into date mode. You start asking the typical questions and doing the typical first date stuff.
And was the conversation going well and you guys were hitting it off?
Up to a point.
Up to a point.
Oh.
That's always the
Okay.
It's like a bless her heart. Bye.
Yeah. What do you mean up to a point?
Well, I started asking, like, what movies do you like and what do you do for fun? Basic stuff. And one of my, first date questions is, do you have any guilty pleasures? And you ask a question like that and you sort of expect like, I like to watch Dancing with the Stars, or I really like chick flicks, or something to that effect. But he says, married women.
What?
Say that again?
Say that one more time. What'd you say?
Married women.
Is his guilty
This is guilty pleasure?
So that was my reaction. I started laughing because I definitely thought he was joking, but I looked up and he wasn't laughing or smiling or anything. He was completely serious.
What did he mean by that?
He enjoys being with married women. I mean,
What?
Oh, my.
but I mean, that's like a big old red flag, way more than the motorcycle.
Wait, did you?
Why would he offer that? Like, why would you tell anybody that?
Yeah, and on a first date, I mean, that's definitely not first date for me.
No.
What did you say to him?
I sort of panicked and I was like, how many times, thinking, maybe it was just one, and he was like, oh, it's my, kind of like a confession, like it's my guilty pleasure. I did it once and it was guilty, and he literally couldn't give me a definitive answer because there were too many to count.
Oh, no.
Hey, you got to give it to him. At least he's honest.
I suppose, but that's probably, where I'm going to have to draw the line.
All right. You've probably told a lot of your friends about that, huh?
Yes, I have.
That's a good story.
Yeah,
It's
it
an
is
awesome story.
That
It's
is a
like-
great story.
Ultimate worst date story ever.
Nicole,
I'm always going to win.
yeah, you are. I also have to tell you that Eric is actually on the phone listening to this conversation and wants to talk to you.
What?
That mother lover Eric is on the other line.
Lover.
Eric, where are you at?
Wifey lover.
Oh, man. This is so misunderstood. There's such a misunderstanding here.
Come on.
There's a misunderstanding. You said that your guilty pleasure was being with married women.
I don't.
No. First of all, I misunderstood what you meant by guilty pleasure, obviously.
Yeah, I guess.
Understand that.
I thought she was like, what's something you kind of feel like you may have been guilty of in the past that you want to admit to me? And I was like,
Okay. That's a stretch.
Oh, yeah. I do married women. It's my thing.
What about you?
It's not like I date married women. I've had a few experiences where married women have been attracted to me. It's not like I always follow through. She's making it sound a lot worse than it really is, actually.
Dude, you didn't really sound overly remorseful about it. It was a pleasure. It's
Wow.
a pleasure. It's something you enjoyed.
Well, I mean, it just happened a couple of times.
Dude, you're an a-hole. You can't go around doing married women and then have other women think that that's okay.
I mean, in all honesty, married women are attracted to me. So it's more their fault than it is mine.
What are you going to do, right? Hey, if a married woman throws herself at you, you have to do it. You have no choice. Eric, so when you told us about your date, you didn't mention this conversation at all. Did this not seem like a big deal to you when you said that?
I didn't think it was.
How do you not think it is?
I don't know. It happened a few times in the past. And for the record, I don't think any husband has ever known about me.
Oh my gosh, that does
dude,
not make
Good.
it better.
That makes
No.
it perfectly okay.
No.
I'm
No.
100% serious.
That's not actually where the problem lies.
Why would she
You-
ever believe that you're not one big lying cheat after you admit something like that on a first date?
I don't think Eric's a liar. I think Eric is maybe honest to a fault. I think you can trust Eric, Nicole. That's one thing.
But I think that's accurate. I think he would cheat, but he would tell me.
Right.
I'm
That's a
not
good
really
point.
sure that that's a win-win situation.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude.
I shouldn't have even brought it up.
No, you definitely shouldn't have brought that up.
I mean, again, it's not like I'm out looking for married women. I seem to drive. My bike attracts a lot of married women.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
I
Married.
don't know. It's not
Wow.
my fault. It just happens. It just seems to happen to me a lot. That's all I was kind of saying. Is that married women seem to come on to me a lot. Like,
You're not making this any better at all.
Yeah, I mean that's why I it's a guilty pleasure because I feel kind of guilty.
That makes sense.
You want to save your affinity for having sexual relations with married women until you guys are already dating for a little while, Eric. It's too early on a first date.
Honestly, Nicole, I thought we had a great time that night. I mean, aside from the bike and this misunderstanding in our conversation, I really think you're awesome. You're adorable. I don't know. You seem like my someone I could definitely hang out with if you wanted to go out again.
He feels that way about you, Nicole, and you're not even married. That shows how much he cares.
Lucky.
Yeah. Nicole, would you like to go out with Eric again? We'll pay for a second date.
Do it.
Don't you dare do it. That's the biggest red flag ever.
I really don't think so. I appreciate the offer though.
All right. You sure?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can hit him up later on down the line when you're married.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.